Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And this year I've kind of come out with my own line of sprayers and things, and Spray Buddy, Cart Buddy, got all those different ones. And then we've got the 50 gallon and 20 gallon Skid Buddy skid sprayer in the works coming. I've got the 50 gallon prototype completed. It's got its own built-in recharging system and all. It's really cool. Hopefully I'll be able to show that to you by end of fall, maybe. We'll have everything in order for that. And then the same with the 20 gallon. And then we've got a 50 gallon Mix Buddy Pro. I've got the Mix Buddy for homeowners that you mount on your wall. Well, the 50 gallon Mix Buddy Pro is going to be for mobile application. I mean, you can put it in your home if you want. I mean, it's up to you, but I'm designing it for pro guys with low volume sprayers like Permagreen, the small turf wear unit, any thing that you would need a nurse tank for a smaller ride-on sprayer. That way you don't have to mix on site. You can pre-mix and then just pump it right over into your sprayer. It's absolutely phenomenal. Just an example, if you have a Permagreen, I think that's 13 gallons, I believe. This is a 50 gallon Mix Buddy, so you divide 50 by 13. I'll give you 3.8 fill-ups. So you could have this Mix Buddy Pro sitting in your truck, and when you run out of solution in your sprayer, you just pull over to the truck and fill it back up and go. It's got its own built-in agitation and everything, and a high volume pump, like a real big high volume pump. I think it's 13 gallons a minute, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but I believe it's around 13 gallons a minute. So you can almost, well, in theory, you'll be able to refill a 13 gallon tank in a minute, which is pretty efficient. Also in this process, I told you about a patent that I had in the works, and I don't know, I'm gonna try to be humble about this. I've seen a lot of negativity and bashing and hate and all kind of crap on the internet. I don't go around looking for it. I ain't got time. I work for a living. But I have buddies that just send that stuff to me, like in screenshots and things like that, and say, hey, just wanted to show you this. They're being my buddy and just giving me a heads up of what everybody out there in internet world is saying. And some of the stuff is just straight up nasty and rude and mean, and it's just uncalled for, if you ask me. A lot of people, saying I'm lying about the patent, that I don't actually have a patent. I'm doing it just to get money and to lead people on. Well, I've got the physical paper from the U.S. government, the official patent. It's nice, got the little curly Q lines that go all around the paper, nice little shiny, got the little gold stamp of approval, where it's a legitimate actual patent for a spray system I created from scratch. So I'll show you that because I know some of you will want to celebrate with me. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal to me, whether you think it's a big deal or not. I graduated high school taking pre-algebra. I graduated with 70, and I'm self-taught. I'm just a guy that grew up on a farm. There's nothing unique or nothing special about me, other than I'm created in the image of God and I'm a child of the Lord Jesus Christ. That makes me unique and special. But in sprayer world and lawn care world and in the public eye, I'm just another dude just like you. So I think it's pretty cool to be able to say I've got a patent on the actual product, that I come up with something nobody else come up with, or either they come up with it but just didn't pursue the patent, however you want to look at that. So I'm trying to decide how I want to make that video, whether I want to in your face, get behind me or get under my boot type video, or if I'm just going to show it to you. More than likely I'm just going to show it to you, because I don't I don't like being the boot stepping on the ant. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, all that's good. The patent is official and final now. So I have that, and just give me a minute. That'll be a spare time video when I get a minute, because I know it's not intriguing to a lot of people like it is to me. So I'll make that as soon as I can. But right now, the GCI Turf Spot Buddy is on the website for sale, ready to rock and roll. There is a 3-gallon, there is a 5-gallon, and there is a 10-gallon version. Off the bat, I want to say this. If you use a zero-turn mower, this is a Grasshopper diesel 900D. You can see we got the aerator head on it. We use this for aerating only. We don't use it for mowing. But it's a zero-turn machine. Wright, Exmark, Toro, John Deere, Bobcat, Hustler, Kubota, any brand on the market today. I don't care what the brand is. If it's a zero-turn mower with a ROPS, this system will fit it. The ROPS system, I think it's rollover protection system. I think is what they call it. And it's a 2x2 square frame right here that goes over the machine, so that if you flip, the machine don't crush you. This part catches the ground and not your forehead. You know what I'm saying? So it'll fit them all. But I do want to say this. I don't have a way to regulate what you buy. And what I mean by that is the 10-gallon version, I highly do not recommend you use it on any zero-turn machine. Any of them. I can't stop you from buying it and putting it on there. I don't have a way to regulate that on the website. You buy what you want. It's America, free country. Do as you want. But my personal opinion is the 10 gallons is a little too big, a little too bulky, maybe a little too heavy for a zero-turn unit. Okay, where's the 10-gallon version best used? After we mount this 5-gallon on this zero-turn Grasshopper, I'll go out and show you where the 10-gallon is used best, and why I actually designed this system. It's the entire reason I designed it over one piece of equipment. So the 3-gallon, 5-gallon, anything with a ROP system. That can be a Ventrac. I've got a 3-gallon version on my Ventrac. So you can put the 3 or 5 on a Ventrac, any zero-turn mower, tractor, open cab tractor that has the ROPS on it. It'll work on that. Anything that has this ROPS, it'll work. Stand-on mowers or walk-behind mowers. I've got a little small fleet of Wrights in here. Now, I don't have this right now, but I will have it over winter. It's going to be a mount, a 2x2 mount that will mount maybe right here. It might mount on the frame. I'm unsure. I don't know yet. I might mount it back here. I don't know where I'm going to mount it yet, but it'll be a universal mount available over winter, meaning January, February 2025. I got to have time to fix all this stuff and do it right. But you'll be able to mount it on a walk-behind mower, stand-on, basically anything with a flat surface. You'll be able to mount this spot spray system to. And again, I do not recommend the 10-gallon for any of these. Any of them. Just the 3 and the 5. The 10-gallon version has one specific purpose. And again, I'll show that to you in a minute. All right, so first thing you want to do is on most of these machines, they're going to have this pin right here. I recommend you take the pin and turn it around and flip it like this. Some of these you may not be able to do. It just depends on the mower. Of course, the Grasshopper right here, you're able to do it. But you don't want that pin in the way right there. Actually, I may have told you wrong. You may not be able to flip it on as a Grasshopper. What we can do is take that out right there. That pin, I got my dang fat finger stuck in it. And then, come on, we can put that on there. All right, I'm good with that right there. I just don't want that thing sticking out. Even though I've got spacers right here, I don't want this pin to hit it. You want to take your Spot Buddy out of the box. The cool thing about the Spot Buddy, as opposed to like the Spray Buddy systems and things like that, is Spray Buddy, Cart Buddy is too big to ship residential as a complete unit. So we send it in 3 different boxes, and then you have to do some assembly. Spot Buddy, you take it out, you mount it, hook the battery or plug it up to the battery on the machine, and you start using it. It's that simple. Very, very little involved in setting it up and getting to work with it. So after you take everything out of your box, you'll have a hardware pack with like the mounting stuff. If you get the battery controlled option, like the 20-volt battery, which you'll get about 90 minutes of runtime with this particular pump, and 90 minutes of spot spraying lasts a very long time. The one on my Toro Multi-Pro, I charged the battery, out of prototype on there, and charged the battery and full charge, and I sprayed, I cannot tell you, I sprayed a long time with using, I should have timed it. I'm gonna say I probably sprayed 3 or 4 days of being in the field, running routes on my athletic field, spraying without having to charge it again. The other option is it'll be able to plug into the pump, and then you'll run it to the battery, and it'll have a little hand toggle switch, and you'll turn it off and on with a toggle switch. I've since used that version on the Toro, because my Toro is going to be a permanent sprayer. I'm never going to take it off. If you plan on taking this on and off, take it on off this machine and put it on that machine for another crew or whatever, I recommend the battery, because the battery, all you have to do is undo the 2 mounting points, take it off, go slap it on another machine, and then out the door and using it. With the other one, then you have to hardwire it into the battery and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit more time consuming taking the battery on the mower option, hook up on and off, versus the 20-volt battery option. And of course, we got these spare batteries on the website too, so you can get you a couple of batteries and always keep a backup in the truck. Charger comes with the battery. That's the first thing you want to do if you get this version. You're going to plug it up, let that be charging up while you mount it. And then the battery version comes with a remote control, so that you can actually hold the remote control in your hand while you're operating the machine and turn the pump on and off if you want to. And the wand, we was kind of worried about it breaking and shipping, so we took the wand off of the trigger handle. You can just put that on dead last. So we're going to go into our hardware kit here, and you will find 2 of these spacer brackets with got a hole in each side. Set them to the side. You'll find 4 dowels with a hole in it. That's the spacer that's going to create some space between the roll cage here, and that way it can clear this bracketry that comes factory on the machine. You have 2 different size U-bolts. One's a short U-bolt, one's a long U-bolt. You will see they've already got the nuts and washers pre-installed on them. You'll need to take the 2 lock nuts off. Those are nylon lock nuts. Take those off. And then you'll find 2 more nuts on here. Take those off. Put those in your toolbox for spare nuts, for whatever you want to use them for. It doesn't matter. When we order these U-bolts in bulk, they send us the nuts already on the U-bolts. So I just didn't want to go through trouble taking them off, so I'm giving them to you. The reason that we have so much hardware kit is we want to simplify things on our end, just to be honest, and we wanted to make one hardware kit that would fit any machine. with the ROPS. You know, the reason that's important is if this ROPS is straight up and down on both sides. Okay, so your U-bolt can be the same length on both sides so that your sprayer is sitting up and down in a vertical fashion. Well, some ROPS systems like the Ventrac are tilted in just a little bit. So you would need a short U-bolt at the bottom and a longer one up top to cant it out at the correct angle so it's straight up and down. And of course, I'll show you that when we go out and look at the Ventrac. It's on a job site right now. I don't have it here, but I'll ride out there and add that in this video. You'll also notice that some of the roll cage, thinking race car, some of the ROPS systems are tilted back toward the rear. Some of them are going to be straight up and down. Well, we've designed the mount bracket for the tank in such a way that you can rotate it left or right, so that if your ROPS is bent backwards, you can rotate the sprayer to the left a little bit and make it straight up and down. So it would be straight up and down this way and straight up and down this way. So that's why we've got extra hardware in there. Anything that's in the package you don't use, just throw it in your toolbox and we'll call it Merry Christmas. So first thing you want to do is take your U-bolt, slide it over the ROPS at the very bottom, but you just want to take the rubber mallet and tap this U-bolt all the way flush against the ROPS mount here. And again, we're starting with the bottom first. You know, I forgot to mention, where would you use this at? Well, it is a spot sprayer, meaning the design of it is intended to be used when you're spot spraying weeds, meaning you're riding across a yard and there's 1 yard in the weed and you spray that spot where the weed is at. That's by definition a spot spray. If you own a lawn care company and you do fertilizer weed control on properties, and on top of that you do the mowing as well, in between your normal round applications, you can have this thing on your mower, and as you see the weed, you go ahead and spray it. You know, you have the herbicide in there, whatever time of the year it is, you know, based on what weeds are showing up. This isn't a herbicide video, you pick that. It's just I'm providing the equipment to make you more efficient, considerably more efficient. That way you don't get callbacks from customers when you're coming back to spray again, you know, that kind of thing. I got nutsedge over here in the corner. I got spurge along the road. I got some crabgrass over here. When are you going to spray that? Well, the next time I mow, I'll spray it, which will be end of this week. You see what I'm saying? And you can really keep your customers much happier that way. That's one circumstance it would be used in. Another is if you have large areas of parking lot and you spray Roundup and things like that. You can, you know, technically put Roundup in here, glyphosate, and ride around the parking lot and zap, 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 spray away. That you need to be extremely careful, because I don't want you mowing across a yard with grass and the thing get Roundup on the grass. Now, I've done extensive testing with this as far as leaking. The lids do not leak. I've had it on my Ventracs, and I've been moving dirt. I've been power raking gravel driveways with it. I've been bush hogging with it, you name it, and it has yet to leak, not the first time. So it's got really good leak proof capabilities. But again, I just got to throw that out there. That's on you. You know, any sprayer is capable of leaking. A hose could bust. Of course, this doesn't have enough pressure to bust a hose, but a hose could dry rot. A clamp could get a little weak. You make a bump it the wrong way and loosen something up. You know, anything can happen. So that's the disclaimer, that is if you put Roundup in this thing, take off across the yard, and it leaks out on the yard, that ain't my fault. You are responsible for your equipment. Even though I sell it to you, you have to keep a check on it, make sure things aren't leaking. We do it day in and day out here, every single day. If one of our sprayers jacks up, we don't call the manufacturer and say, hey, this sprayer's leaking. you know, we're responsible to fix that. Obviously, if the thing's brand new and it's got a leak, then we will help you get that fixed. Okay, it does come with a 1-year warranty, top to bottom, and you know, that's obvious. But I'm saying years down the road, if the thing starts leaking Roundup on the yard and you got dead spots everywhere from the little drops, that's on you, not on me. Tractors, you know, if you got a tractor in the farm and you want to ride and spray your fence lines, things like that, you could use it for that with Roundup. Just ride down there and lean over a little bit, spray your fence lines with Roundup. Homeowners that have a big yard, you know, like really big yards and have 0-turn mowers, and that's what you use, and it has the ROPS on it, you can use it just like a pro guy does and use it for spot spraying weeds. So really anything you can come up with, any scenario you can put yourself in where you would need a backpack sprayer. You know, you can call it that. You need a backpack sprayer and you have to stop what you're doing, put the backpack on, go out, make a spray, regardless of what it is. You know, you just have to make a spray. This kind of takes the place of it. It's like a mobile backpack sprayer, I guess, for lack of better words. Now, I don't have this right now. I've got the prototypes made, but there will be an option over the winter, probably about the same time I come out with the universal mount for it, the mount system. There will be an option to replumb it slightly, very easy, and you'll run a hose to the front of your machine and it will have a broadcast nozzle on it. So you can spray 6 or 8 foot wide, so you can cover larger areas. So that is in the works. I've got prototypes made. I've just got to have time to do the testing on them and make sure all of it's legit. Then we'll put it on the website. I'll let you know. It'll be on the website, and you can buy that and add it to what you have. And then once I have them in hand and ready to go, we'll make it an add-on option on the Spot Buddy page so that you can add it while you're buying your Spot Buddy. But again, that's in the winter. It's going to be coming right now. Where's my wand at? Right now, it's just a spot spray wand. And this is an adjustable cone, so you can spray like the pin stream out, or you can adjust it down to a real fine mist, however you see fit. So we're going to put this on right here, and then you'll take one of your little brackets right here, and you will see that the bracket's not quite wide enough. Okay, that's not a mess up. That's by intention. We want this clamp right here, this U-bolt, to sandwich this 2x2 bar really, really well. So what you do is you take your channel locks and you just open them up just enough to get a bite on this U-bolt, and you squeeze the U-bolt just enough to where that'll slide on it, just like that. Then you can slide it all the way flush back to the ROPS. All right, once you do that, then you're going to take your 2 spacers and slide those on. You'll see there's a bigger and a smaller washer. You'll take the bigger washer and slide those on like that. Then you're ready to take your Spot Buddy, and you can slide it on the bottom here. And you can see I'm doing this one person, one man. I'm holding it at the top and letting the weight of that hold it. And we'll come down here and take the 2 smaller washers and go ahead and put one on each side and go ahead and get me a nut started. Let me grab my other one here. And obviously, if you have a friend to help you, this would be a little bit easier, but at the same time, you can see I'm putting it on really with no effort right here. Now, once I get the nuts on, I can just kind of let it hang there a little bit. I'm going to stand it up straight, line up this top one where it needs to go. Go ahead and get it started on there. Take my rubber mallet, tap it on like that. All right, then we'll pull that back down a little bit. Get my other spacer tab right here. Come right here, squeeze that in just a little bit. And then run this all the way flush against the ROPS, just like that right there. And the reason that is sized that way, again, it seems like he designed it wrong. No, I didn't. I designed it like that intentionally so it would really put pressure from the sides on the ROPS. That way this thing ain't gonna move. I'm telling you, on my Ventrac, I have been everywhere on that thing and it has not budged a muscle yet. Then your two dowel spacers go on. Then again, the two larger washers go on. Then you simply pop it up here, get that lined up, put that on like that. This has got to come in just a little bit more. I just dropped that small washer. Put your small washer on. Another nylon lock nut, like that. And don't tighten them down yet. And put your other one on. And you will find that on some models, depending on what you have, this is going to be a little bit of a snug fit. All right, so that's on. Now you can see it's sitting a little bit cockeyed. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to push the bottom that way. I'm going to push the top this way and get that thing, get that thing dialed in to where she's pretty much straight up and down. You might find some, it might be a pinch canted a little bit one way or the other, but we couldn't make the mount so big. You know what I'm saying? So this is plenty straight up and down for me. Like I said, I've had them mounted on different things and they work like a champ. All right, so let's just use a wrench to keep it simple. 9/16 wrench right here. And you just want to tighten everything down good and snug. All right, so everything is tight. When you do that, you're going to take your wand, install it, make sure it's straight, tighten this nut down. And on the back side over here, regardless of whether you have the battery option or the non-battery option, there is a tab back here that you simply put this in. You can lock down your spray wand and it just kind of stays right there. It goes in on the battery version, it goes in between the battery housing and the pump itself. You'll see it's one little lane for it to shoot up in right there. And you know, first couple of times, this is a rubber locking tab, and the first few times you use it, it's going to be a little tight, it's going to be a little snug to get it on there, but it'll loosen up a little bit over time. And you can see how that goes right there on the actual black handle itself of the spray trigger. That's where the tab locks around, just like that. And you see you pull this little tab around and locks it. Don't try and lock the handle as well. The handle stays clear of that. You can see how that looks right there. And of course you take your charged up battery, plug it in, it's good to go. And if you have the option that hooks into the battery on your machine, then you don't mess with the battery. You would then run your wire down in a safe location. You might want to use some tie straps and tie strap it to the ROP system, run it under the seat or wherever your battery's at. I think the battery's right here on this machine. So, you know, I would somehow run it up inside there and just make sure all your wires are secure with tie straps. That way they're not dangling around. This is the battery unit. So I'm going to plug up the battery to the pump right here. Let me run and get some water and I'll be right back. So shipping times on these, we've got about, I don't know, 200 or 300 of them made up already. We've been making them for a couple of months. It takes us a little bit of time to build one of these out. So the first few ones that are ordered, they'll run out the door pretty quick because we've already got them made. Once you start seeing the shipping time slow down, that means we're building them as you order them. So it goes back to that 10-day thing. From the time you place your order, it takes us about 10 days roughly to get that built and get it in a box to get it shipped. There's been some confusion on the website about the shipping. You know, when you come down and you check out and it says pay for your shipping, it says like 1 to 2 day transit or 2 to 3 day transit. That's when UPS gets the package in their hands, okay? It's from that point, it takes 1 to 2 days or 2 to 3 days, depending on where you live, how far away from me. But we build these things to order, okay? Meaning we just don't go build a bunch of them and let them sit around. When you order it, then that order comes in as a build sheet. My warehouse staff begins assembling them and putting them together. And when it's completed, packaged, then it goes out the door. Then it's a 1 to 2 day, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 day, whatever. You know, the little thing on the website. So we actually put a pop-up on the website where we're getting just inundated with emails. People saying, well, I paid for 2 day shipping. We don't even offer 2 day shipping. It's all UPS ground, the basic UPS ground, and that's it. Again, it takes us 5 to 10 days to get everything built. Because if you place your order, then it may have been 10 people before you, and we do them in the order we received the order. And by the time we get to yours, it may be 5 or 10 days after you place the order. And then we get it made, then we get it packaged, then it goes out, and then you get it. So, got some water in here. Whoop, whoop. There's a little red button over here. It says power. You hit that one time, and it'll light up red. Then you either have the option to turn it on and off with your remote control. Oh, your pressure regulator right here. Make sure it is turned all the way to the left. That is counterclockwise, all the way to the left. That gives you full agitation. And man, this thing stirs the mess out of it too. When you are using the spot spray, oh, let me back up a little bit. So you can use this to cut it off. Now, if you want it to run, you know, continuously or something like that, I don't recommend you run the thing all day. You only use it when you're spraying the weeds, okay? You know, these are commercial grade pumps, but they're not pumps intended to be left on all day long. They're not intended to be mixed with for 45 minutes. I had a guy emailed me, said he was mixing with his cart buddy for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and wondering why the pump is overheating and cutting off. Well, you don't need to mix for 25 minutes. You only need to mix this stuff for a minute or two. 2 minutes, absolutely max. And it's water. It's going to become a homogeneous solution within seconds of you pouring it. If I had a liquid herbicide and this thing's full of water and I have the agitation on and I pour 3 ounces or whatever it is I'm putting in there, within seconds, it is homogenized and mixed fully within seconds. Okay, you don't need to mix it for 20 minutes. This is one of the reasons we're having trouble with some of these pump issues of pumps getting hot and overheating. You're just using them incorrectly. I'm trying to be humble about it. But I created these systems, these sprayers, to be efficient, not so you can sit and watch it mix for 20 minutes. Sorry. But it is what it is. The other way to turn the power on, obviously, is you hit the power button once, it turns red, then you hit it again, it turns green. And then to cut it off, you simply hit the power button again. And to turn the red light off, you hold the power button down until the red light cuts off. And then, obviously, your remote control will not work. You have to depress the power button and see the red light first. Then you can hit the on button with the remote or the off button. So let's turn it on right here. Pressure regulator all the way to the left. You do not need to increase pressure for this right here. You can see that right there is a gracious amount for spot spraying. This is all, when you get your calibration and all dialed in, or you know, look on your label. and labels recommend spot spraying applications. You figure all that out. You ride up to a weed. That's all it takes. That's it. That's one weed dead. That's 2 weeds dead. That's 3 weeds dead. Depending on, hopefully you're using a good herbicide. If you got a bigger area of weeds, just like that. Spot spray, slight overlap, not much, very slight overlap. But look at that, very fine droplet, very fine mist, so you get extremely good coverage. So again, dial to the left all the way, the pressure regulator all the way to the left, and you'll notice these numbers are in reverse order. So when it's all the way to the left, it's actually at a 12. And as you turn it to the right, it goes 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't need to increase the pressure with using the spot spray wand. All the way to the left, that gives you full agitation as you're spraying. You can be spraying, agitating at the exact same time. And again, you'll need the ability to increase the pressure slightly once that broadcast nozzle assembly is ready to go. And again, that'll be this winter. So on the fly, I am making an amendment to this setup, meaning I'm going to include 2 short U-bolts, 2 long U-bolts, and it'll be enough bolts and washers for one or the other. When you get done installing, you're going to have 2 U-bolts left. Again, the reason for that is there's so many different configurations of roll bars or ROP systems. Some ROP systems are just straight up, and they don't have this ability to fold down. So your Spot Buddy can mount flush against the ROP system. So that means you would use the 2 short U-bolts. Well, if you need the U-bolts to clear, if you need space to clear this hinge point right here, then obviously you're going to need the longer U-bolts. But I'm just trying to fix it to where we send one kit out the door, and it's configured to where it works with any and all roll cages. Why do I keep calling this a roll cage? A ROPS. I got drag racing on my mind. Okay, so here's another unique feature that I put on here, that we are going to put this on the website for Cart Buddy and Spray Buddies as well. There is a cutoff valve right here at the filter. Why do you need a cutoff valve at the filter? Let's say you got your material in here and you're just mixing it. For whatever reason, your filter gets stopped up and you've got your sprayer full of solution. Well, you turn the cutoff valve off, use the quick disconnect tab, and pop that out so you can undo the suction hose and nothing drops out. You're not leaking anything. Then you can use the quick disconnect tab, take the filter out, it's just water, and you can clean the filter without having to pump this out and drain it out. Before, you would have to take it off and then hold your hand over the hose or something like that. That's just too much trouble. I put a cutoff valve on it. There, on this filter right here, there's a trick to cleaning it. Okay, obviously, you want to crack the lid. Be very cautious right here. This is not my design. This is a manufacturer design. This screen right here fits extremely tight. If it comes out, you're going to have a heck of a time getting it back in. Again, not my fault. I didn't design it. So what you do is take that off, and with your gloves on, because we're pretending this is going to have chemical in it, you're going to take your thumb and hold the screen down like that right there. Then take your water hose and rinse and clean it out like that. Easily remove your thumb while the screen stays in there. Make sure this rubber gasket is in place in the groove. Then you can put this cap back on just like that, and it's clean, ready to go. And then of course, when you're reinstalling it, you do it the same way. You connect it back to the cutoff right here, pop it back up in the bottom of the pump, and then be sure and turn your valve to the on position, your cutoff valve to the on position. When you put your lid on, make sure the lid's nice and snug. There is no rubber gasket or nothing like that in here to protect it from leaking, but I've used this particular brand tank for almost 20 years, and I've yet to see one leak out of the lid. You just have to make sure it's tight. So I think that's everything on this. Well, your remote control, don't lose it. I always like to kind of hang it somewhere. You know, you can wrap it in here like this and wrap it around here. That way your remote control is kind of always with the machine. Or some cases, oh, look here, this grasshopper, it's got like a little cubby compartment right here. You could actually take the remote control, put it down in your little cubby compartment. The wires where you hook the battery to the pump up, you can just kind of tuck them up out of the way somewhere. You know, whatever's convenient for you, however you want to do it, to kind of get the wires out of the way just so they're not dangling around. You can tie strap them, you know, whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter to me. I just want you to save money, save time, and hey, it's easier. I mean, who in the heck wants to tote a backpack spray around the yard when you can ride around the yard and do the same thing? You know what I mean? Don't forget your spray wand right here. You know, during transport and stuff like that, I'd hate for this not to be connected well and it fall off and you run over it and break it. That is not covered under warranty. You know, misuse is not a warranty item. So that means you just have to email us and we sell you a replacement spray wand or whatever. So that's the 5-gallon version. Let's run out here to the multi-pro and we'll take a look at the 10-gallon version. Golf courses. This is the reason I invented or created the GCI Turf Spot Buddy. Is for this machine and this machine only. I just happened to have the bright idea to adapt it to making it work with anything with a ROP system, like the 5-gallon and the 3-gallon. You can put it on anything with a ROP system. So those are kind of the baby versions of this one. This is the 10-gallon unit. And the reason I even come up with this idea is I don't have a spot spray system for my Toro Multi-Pro. Don't know if there's anything on the market like it. I couldn't find anything on the market. It's like a dedicated spot sprayer system. I've never seen any dedicated spot spray system for any zero-turn mower or anything like that, that mounts in the way that it does. They may exist, but I just haven't seen them. So I figured the best way to mount it would be up out of the way. So I used the ROP system on the Toro here. And then of course, like I said, I just adapted that to zero-turn mowers, Ventrac tractors with a ROP system, anything with a ROPS. The problem I was having was, springtime when I spray my Bermuda fields, I usually blanket spray those with a herbicide, and I get them so clean that I don't need to blanket spray the rest of the year. And blanket spray is when I put the herbicide in the tank with my nutrient package and I spray the entire area. I'm spraying it as if I'm laying a blanket over the entire surface of the football field or soccer field or whatever it is. Well, when you get middle of the year and late year, you might have a touch of sedge come up right over there. You might have a spot of Dallas grass right there. You might get one little patch of clover over here, whatever the weed is. And I just don't want to mix all that herbicide in my tank because it is extremely expensive. I'd rather blanket spray the turf with my nutrient, whatever I'm going down with, and then I'll ride back around with like Tribute Total. That's really the only thing I've ran in this on my athletic fields is Tribute Total. And I'll ride around and there's 4 or 5 little nutsedge plants and I'll zap them and keep on burning the road up. And do you realize how much that costs versus putting something like Tribute Total in here and blanket spraying it? It's astronomically different as far as the cost goes. Yeah, Tribute Total is a dispersible granular or powder. I can't remember which one, but it's a granular you put with water and it melts it down and becomes a liquid, a homogeneous liquid. Well, the agitation is strong enough on the 10-gallon, 5-gallon, and 3-gallon to be able to Have it on agitation with your water in here, and you can measure out your tribute total or katana or sedge hammer or any water soluble product, and you can slowly add it to the mix and it will dissolve it. So you don't have to pre-dissolve it. That's how strong the agitation is on this thing. But this is why I even come up with this. Do you have any clue how much money this has saved me personally in my business? So I don't have to mix herbicide in the big tank and blanket spray when I only have like 3 weeds in the whole ball field. The way I used to do it is I would blanket spray with my nutrient, and I'd have a backpack sprayer. I'd ride back to the truck, and I would saddle the backpack sprayer between my legs, drive back out, get off, put the backpack sprayer on, spot spray the weed, take the backpack sprayer off, put it back in the cockpit, sandwich it between my legs, and drive to the next weed. Well, now all I do is grab my wand and spot spray and burn the road up. Now on the 10-gallon version, you will still get the U-bolts, because I'm unsure if Toro puts this on all their multi-sprayers, okay? There are 2 female threaded areas right here, okay? And they're from the factory, and there's one there, and there's one there. And so basically all you do is take your spacer and put it in there and take a bolt and run it through. You can see on the 10-gallon version, we have a hole cut back here, and this hole is specifically for the Toro Multi-Pro. So you don't really need the U-bolts for the Toro unless your Toro Multi-Pro don't have these factory installed female threaded areas. I don't know. I don't know if Toro does that for all of them or not, but I know mine has it. So that's why we made it specifically for that. And then you'll need to source out the bolt for this. We just simply haven't had time to source them out and find a good supply of them, to be honest. So you can simply go to a hardware store and grab your 2 bolts, and you're good to go. Now, if your Toro does not have these female threaded inserts right here where I've got the bolt running inside there, then you can use the U-bolts that we supply, and it mounts the same way as the 5-gallon I just showed you. Now on this one, you probably saw some extra plumbing and stuff like that, extra hose running here and there. That's all part of that prototype system that I have, you know, for the broadcast nozzle that's going to mount on the front. Again, that won't be ready till the winter. Let's hop in the truck, ride out to the job site, and I'll show you the 3-gallon version on a Ventrac. So I'm out here on the job site where I've got my Ventrac working. This is the 3-gallon Spot Buddy model. As you can see, the pump and battery system and all is mounted on the front of the sprayer itself. All nice, tight, compact. Same thing, got a little wand holder right here for your spray wand. And going back to that Toro with the 10-gallon, the reason I said earlier that I prefer that you only use the 10-gallon for things like a Toro Multi-Pro, or either like a Cushman or a John Deere boom sprayer, you know, any of those type of sprayers that are used on athletic fields, golf courses, where the terrain and the turf is smooth. And you're not hitting big bumps in the yard. You're not jumping curb and gutters, you know, going into an apartment complex or whatever. And the Toro and John Deere and Cushman sprayers are typically a larger frame machine, so they're more stable on the ground. That accompanied with, you know, the smoothness of a soccer field, a baseball field, a football field, the 10 gallons are much more stable or safer for those type machines, if that makes sense. You know, Ventrac and a zero-turn mower, you might go off the side of a mountain bush hogging, you know what I mean? And you just don't want a big old 10-gallon sprayer on something like that. It's just kind of, I just think it's not only overkill, but I just think it's just too big of a tank for a smaller machine like this when you're using the machine in a way that you're using it. 10-gallon is for Toro Multi-Pro, John Deere boom sprayers, and Cushman, and things like that, that you're going to be spraying nice, smooth areas like athletic fields or golf courses. But back to the Ventrac one, you see it mounts right here on your roll bar, and same thing. You know, you just turn it on and pop your spray wand off, and look at there. Spray as you're riding. You can do it from the seat of the machine right here. You can see you've got the little tab right here. If you slide the handle and the trigger in between that tab, you just take this tab and pull it over like that right there, and you can see how that locks in and holds it in place. So now you can see the difference. See how the Ventrac ROPS is, you know, at an angle this way. So now you can see why you need those different U-bolts. This is the short U-bolt right here at the bottom, and see it mounts flush right against the ROPS itself. And when you come up here, see the gap in there? Then you need this spacer right here so that your sprayer is mounted straight up and down, and it's not canted back, you know, in line with the angle of the ROPS right here. So a lot of thought went into this design, you know, so we could get it as straight as possible this way and as straight as possible, you know, this way. We tried to keep it as tight and slimline as possible. So this particular one right here is mounted all the way this way, and at the bottom all the way that way. So it's canted as far as it's going to go, and it's still just, I don't know, I'm sitting there looking at it. It might be a degree or two off from being perfectly straight up and down, and that's completely fine. Like I said, I've been using this thing. It's had that water in it forever. It's been just mounted on here, riding around here doing ball field work, bush hog work, gravel driveway work, and it has yet to leak or anything. So that tells me that little bit of cant that way is just not a real big deal. But and these things are tight, they're nice, really going to make spot spraying super convenient and super easy. Like I said, these are on the website for sale right now. I'll link them in the description below. And over winter, we're going to work on getting these into like lawnmower shops, like dealers, like Ventrac dealer will be able to sell them all across the country. You know, all the different mower manufacturers, the dealers in your local hometown. We want these things. I want this Spot Buddy in every single store across the country. That's my goal. So over winter, we're going to be working on, you know, wholesale and pricing per pallet, and you know, these dealers and things like that can buy them by pallet and then sell them locally to their customers. You know, private labeling. If you're a mower manufacturer and you want us to build these things for you, and you know, you put your branding on them, I'm more than happy to do so. So there's several things we're going to be looking at doing as far as getting them out into the country in different areas, or all across the country actually. So if you're on a lawnmower dealership, or if you're a part of a mower manufacturer, tractor manufacturer, any manufacturer that utilizes this ROPS system, that's the key. They are so universal. They're all over the place. I mean, so many different pieces of equipment have a ROPS system on it. So if it has a ROPS, it fits into the category of, we're going to try to get it into your market and, you know, sell it through dealers or however. Of course, right now they're on the website, on my website for sale. And that's it. That's the Spot Buddy. Man, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I am super proud of this one. Out of all the sprayers that I've designed and we have for sale right now, hands down, I think this is going to be the most popular because it fits more people, you know, especially in pro world. Lawn care applicators that, like I said, you mow, and fertilizer weed control. Whoo, boy, you talking about big time money saver right here. And I personally think the 3 gallons probably going to be the most popular, because at the end of the day, the 3 gallons nice and tight and compact. It's not big at all. You can see here's my ball cap right here, and you can see not much bigger than a ball cap. any way you look at it. Yeah, I got a haircut. I got it cut down kind of tight. The 3 gallon I just think is going to be the most popular is all. So again, battery option comes with a 20 volt rechargeable battery option, and then the other option is it plugs in, and you would, like I said earlier, you would run a alligator clips to your battery on your machine, and you have a little toggle in your hand. And if it's more of a permanent application mount, I mean, if you're going to put it on a machine like the one on my Toro Multi-Pro, and you're just going to leave it there, it's going to be there forever and ever, by all means, get the one that mounts to the battery on the machine. But like my Ventrac one here, I may take it off and put it on the other Ventrac, or I may take it off and put it on the Grasshopper, or I may take it off and put it on whatever. That's why I got the battery set up for this one. It's just so much easier just to undo those 4 bolts, pop it off, pop it on, and keep getting it. So there you go. Any questions, you can leave them in the comments. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.